So let's get started. I was initially looking for some articles or studies that had to do with fat burners and catch up on some of the the effective ones and which ones have been not so effective. And I came upon what I initially thought was going to be an article published by the Dallas Morning News, where it's entitled "Best Fat Burning Pills: Top 5 Thermogenic Fat Burner Supplements of 2022." That title might make you think that it's a legitimate article, especially since the Dallas Morning News is a very legitimate newspaper. Actually, it's the largest newspaper in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But when I opened up the link, I noticed that this was not an article. In the top, you can see it says branded posts. If you were to click on the "What's this?" up in the corner, it reads, "This article was paid for by an advertiser and produced by our sponsored content team. The Dallas Morning News newsroom was not involved in its creation." So what does that mean in English? That means that this is just an advertisement that's kind of tricking you into believing that it's a legitimate article when it's not. It's like if you've ever seen an infomercial where it kind of looks like it's a real newscast, but then you find out that it was an infomercial all along, you're going to kind of feel cheated. And honestly, someone who, like myself, an expert in nutrition, I felt really cheated and really concerned for a person who's not someone with a graduate degree in nutrition, especially since it does portray itself as an article. If you don't pay close attention to detail, you might have missed the branded post part, and you might not have noticed who the person is claimed to be the author. You look at the person who was supposed to have written this. It says by NorCal Marketing. NorCal Marketing would be a really weird name for a person to have, and obviously that's not an actual person, that's a marketing company, an advertising company. So at least the Dallas Morning News is kind of being upfront-ish that this is an advertisement and not an actual article by one of their staff writers. But everything else around it makes it look like it could be a real article, and someone might read this advertisement and take it as if it has been proven scientifically and safe products that they can take. When it comes to supplements, I always tell people to be very cautious about taking them and to do extensive research on their own about the brands just to check if it's safe. Because here's the thing, unlike pharmaceutical drugs, a supplement doesn't have to be tested by the FDA. There are really no requirements for supplement companies to have to go through the government. You can basically put them out on the market for people to buy. The only times you have supplements that get taken off the market is when enough people are getting hurt by the supplements. So if you recall, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, fen was one of the biggest ones that where people were taking this supplement because it had promised them that it would help them lose weight. Unfortunately, it caused a lot of people to suffer from cardiac arrest and other heart issues. A lot of people ended up dying, and that's when the FDA takes action and the government shuts down the operation. That's the only time. If only a few people are having some type of drug interactions or complications from the supplement, it's up to the individual to try to take legal action on their own. But that's really the only time when that can happen. That's the only thing that that individual can do. You can mount a class action lawsuit or do what's called mass torts, where it's kind of the same as a class action, where you have a group of clients trying to fight against a company that puts out a dangerous product like a supplement or a pharmaceutical drug. But it's not a guarantee, and it doesn't force that company to have to make any changes to their ingredients or to remove the products from the shelves. Also, there was once a study that tested a number of different supplements where ingredients that were not listed on the ingredients list. So just because you pick up a bottle and it includes an ingredients list it's not 100% that that product is exactly what the bottle is saying. That said, there are a lot of companies that have their products independently researched and tested by testing companies that a lot of times they're actually more intense than the FDA's own testes. So those companies are the ones where you can be very confident in their safety. And I'm sorry, I did digress a bit there. I just want to remind you, pay attention to detail. Whenever you read some kind of article, it doesn't matter if it's on the Dallas Morning News, on the New York Times, the New York Post, Fox News, CNN, whatever one, they want to make money. And if it comes to the point where they're willing to have an advertisement portraying itself as a legitimate article just to get you to buy their products, they're totally at the liberty to do that. And that's what puts you at the onus to do your research and to pay close attention to detail. Luckily, the Dallas Morning News did indicate that this is a branded post and that this is an advertisement. Doesn't mean that they're always going to do this. Luckily, they do have some form of ethics, but another newspaper might not have the same level of ethics, and that's why you really need to have to be careful. Do your research, and if need be, you can always feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be able to help guide you.